I'm back from vacation, I'm no longer sick, and I am just so ready to read some Reddit stories and play some Minecraft. I have this ugly slime farm that I gave up on building a while ago, so I'm gonna work on that while I read some stories today. This farm does not need to be good, it just needs to be semi-functional. Alright, let's go ahead and read some stories. I got uninvited from my best friend's wedding because my boyfriend proposed to me the same weekend she got engaged. And now my entire family is calling me selfish. The poster in this story is a 29-year-old female, by the way. So this whole mess started a year ago. My former best friend, Emily, a 30-year-old female, got engaged to her boyfriend of 5 years, and everyone was ecstatic. That same weekend, my boyfriend, now fiance, surprised me with a proposal during a family getaway we'd been planning for months. I didn't even post about it until after Emily made her announcement on social media because I didn't want to steal her thunder. She congratulated me, but she was noticeably cold afterwards. I brushed it off as stress. Planning a wedding is a big deal, and Emily has always liked to be the center of attention. I love her, but it's just her personality. Fast forward to about 3 months ago. Wedding planning is in full swing. I've been nothing but supportive, helping her with DIY decorations, going to fittings, even taking time off work to attend venue visits. Then suddenly, I find out from another bridesmaid, not even Emily herself, that I'm no longer in the bridal party. When I confronted Emily, she said, and I quote, "I just feel like this is my year and your engagement is kind of overshadowing things. You've always had a way of unintentionally taking the spotlight." I was floored. I asked her when I'd ever done that. Her only example? Me getting proposed to the same weekend she did. I told her I didn't plan that. I even delayed my own announcement to let her have her moment. But she doubled down, saying it just felt like a pattern. Then she told me that it would be less stressful for both of us if I just came as a guest, if I wanted to attend at all. I cried for days. This was my best friend since high school. I'd imagined standing by her side for years. Then comes the family drama. My cousin, who is also friends with Emily, sided with her. She told the whole family that I was trying to compete with Emily, that I rushed my engagement, and that I was being toxic. She even said I weaponized my engagement to make Emily feel inferior. Now half of my extended family isn't speaking to me. We were all extremely close with Emily's family. My mom is begging me to make peace, even though I didn't start this. My fiance is furious and says I shouldn't go to the wedding at all. And honestly, I don't even know if I want to anymore. So here I am, alone, heartbroken, and somehow the villain of a story that I didn't write. Tell me how this is my fault. This is obviously not this poster's fault. I mean, if everything that she's saying is true, we're only getting her side, but if everything she's saying is true, then it seems like she was being, like, really actually very considerate of her friend. She's not able to control when her fiance proposes to her. It really does seem like friendships are tested when when the bridal party is made or the groomsmen are picked. You really find out who who people's real friends are. To me it seems like if their friendship is falling apart over this little like inconvenience, then they weren't really true friends in the first place. And also, let it be said that a real friend is actually going to be happy for you when you get engaged, like no matter when that happens, even it's even if it's within a couple days of their engagement, they'll still be happy for you that you have chosen to spend the rest of your life with someone that, you know, makes you happy. I think if it were me, I'm just so conflict averse that I would still go to the wedding. And that's just my problem. She probably shouldn't go. But I would still go to the wedding, and then I would just like look forward to the day when it was my wedding and I could absolutely not invite her. There were some people in the comments on the last video that were suggesting that I set up an inbox to take stories from viewers, and I love that idea. So that's what I did. If you want to send in a story that you want me to read, you can write it up and send it in, and maybe I'll read it. There's an email in the description or on the screen or wherever I decided to put it. You can look in those places. All right, this next one, I saw the title and laughed, so we're reading it. HR told me multiple coworkers complained about my body odor. I've never felt so humiliated. Okay. All right. This is a real problem. Okay. I'm a female in my late 20s and have never, not once in my life, received feedback, directly or indirectly, about having body odor. But today, my HR called me in and told me that multiple people have reached out to say I smell bad and should consider wearing stronger deodorant. I somehow kept a straight face in the meeting, but the moment I got out, I broke down in the washroom stall and couldn't stop crying. I didn't know shame could feel this physical, like my entire body was wrong, like the air around me was contaminated. What makes it worse is that I have close coworkers that I hang out with regularly. I thought I could trust them. If this really was an issue, why didn't even one of them gently tell me in private? Instead, someone, or maybe more than one, went straight to HR. Now I feel paranoid, like I'm wearing this invisible layer of filth that I can't scrub off. And I don't know who sees me as that person. It could be anyone. I left work early today, only a bit before I usually do. I couldn't take it anymore. People saw me being called into HR. Someone saw me crying in the stairwell. I know there'll be whispers. I don't even know how to walk in tomorrow without carrying all this. I've already gone into fix-it mode. I bought a new men's deodorant, fresh soap, rewashing all my clothes, but I emotionally feel broken, embarrassed, alone. I know this sounds dramatic for something like body odor, but it felt like being judged for just existing. If anyone else has been through this, how do you know how to move forward from here? How do you ever feel clean or safe in your own body again, especially around people who silently judged you and said nothing to your face? I thought that one was going to be a bit more lighthearted. That one took kind of a serious turn, and this was a bit more heavy than I thought it would be. This is that, like, middle school feeling of, like, oh my god, they're all talking about me behind my back. That living nightmare that I just never wish on anybody. As you get older, those moments happen less and less frequently, but to have it happen in your workplace in your late 20s is really rough, especially with something like body odor that you can be nose blind to and have no idea that it's happening. And while it's like maybe a little bit dehumanizing and absolutely the worst way to find out that you smell bad, I don't think she needs to be ashamed that her coworkers went to HR instead of her to fix the problem. Like, your coworkers are your coworkers. They're not your best friends. If I was working with this person, I would definitely not feel comfortable going up to her and saying, hey, you should wear some stronger deodorant because you smell like shit. I will say, I do feel bad for her, but you got to be pretty stinky if you're getting multiple HR complaints about how bad you smell. And I don't think it's anything to be, like, truly ashamed of. Everybody's got body odor. That's fine. We all got it. It's totally natural and also completely fixable. Now that she knows she can fix it. That's fine. Throw some stronger deodorant on, thorough showers before work, new detergent, wash your clothes and sheets more frequently. You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. Let's get on to the next one. Really quick before this next one. This next poster is, like, kind of a dick and uses some degrading language towards pregnant women. If that's something that bothers you, you've been warned. I don't know how to tell my wife that I cheated on her while she had postpartum depression. Just for clarity, postpartum depression is basically when a woman experiences depression after childbirth. And the guy posting this story is a 28-year-old male, and his wife is a 24-year-old female. I know I'm a piece of shit and I don't deserve my wife and our two beautiful sons, 4 and 2. I know that by telling her this, I will end our marriage. She will not forgive me. There will be no talking through it. She will tell me to pack my bags and leave immediately. I can't live with the guilt of not telling her, but I can't live without her. I don't know what to do. Basically, my wife and I always wanted a traditional family. I would go to work and she would stay home with the kids. We both always wanted a large family, a house in the suburbs, a dog, the whole thing. We got married when she was 19 and I was 23. She got pregnant right away and our firstborn son was 9 months to the day at our wedding. He was such an easy, happy baby. We were all so happy. My wife was super passionate about cooking, arts and crafts, and home decor. Our home was always spotless, despite having a baby and a dog. We had a great marriage and a healthy sex life. We were both naive enough to think that being parents was always going to be this easy. We started trying for another as soon as the doctor cleared us. It took about 8 months for her to get pregnant, which stressed her out a lot because she got pregnant so easily with our first. This pregnancy was different. She had no energy. She gained a lot of weight and was unrecognizable. With our first son, she only had a small bump, and you wouldn't have even known she was pregnant if you saw her from behind or if she was wearing an oversized shirt. With this pregnancy, she blew up like a balloon. Her face and feet were swollen. I sound like an asshole saying this, but she looked like a monster. Yeesh. We didn't have sex for the entire pregnancy. Sometimes she would try to initiate, but I always turned her down because I was repulsed by her. Ugh, dude. She had a difficult birth, and our son was born with some health issues. Relatively minor, thankfully, but enough to give us a scare. My wife blamed herself for our son's health issues. In the heat of the moment, I told her that if she had been more active during pregnancy, then our son probably would have been fine. She just kept sinking further and further into depression. She stopped brushing her hair and it started to mat. I would come home from work at 5 p.m. to find our older son still in his pajamas. The dirty dishes were piled a mile high in the sink. She stopped showering regularly and refused to go on a jog to lose the baby weight, even though I tried to encourage her by saying I'd cook dinner if she did. Our son's physical needs were being met, but emotionally she was checked out. I started fantasizing about being single and not having a wife or kids. I started going to the gym and the bar after work instead of going home to them. I met Cassidy, a 19-year-old female, at the gym, and we really hit it off. She was vocal about never wanting kids, and when I would complain about my wife to her, she would pile on too. I was happy at the time because I wanted someone to validate me for being such an asshole, but looking back, I'm disgusted. Pretty soon, Cassidy and I were dating, and I was having a whole separate life behind my wife's back. After a few months, my wife slowly started to return to her old self. She started taking more pride in her appearance and started cooking from scratch again, instead of ordering takeout or frozen food. Our home was clean again, and our younger son's health issues were improving. I fell in love with her all over again. I started to realize that Cassidy wasn't as exciting and interesting as I thought she was. She was actually quite dull and stupid and had no real opinions. What? And had no real opinions or interests outside of partying and TikTok. I started to suspect that she didn't actually like me either and was just flattered by the attention of a married man, and I stupidly enabled it by making her feel special and better than my wife. I ended things with her a few months later, and she didn't even seem to care. All in, I was cheating on my wife for just over a year. My wife has recently started asking to try for a third baby, and the guilt just hit me all at once. I feel paralyzed. I have nightmares that she finds out from someone else. I've stopped eating and sleeping. I'm starting to get aches and pains from stress. I don't know what to do. I know I'm an asshole. I know I don't deserve her, but I don't know how to tell her without breaking her. She's amazing, and she never deserved this. We're all gonna agree that this guy is an asshole. I mean, the way, even just like the way that this post is written, it's very disrespectful. Even he says that he knows he's wrong, and it's good that he knows that he's in the wrong, but I don't think that excuses any of his actions or the way that he talks at all. He says that he wants a traditional family, but it seems like he doesn't want any of the hard parts of the word family. Like, he wants the kids, but as soon as he has to be there for his wife when she's at an extreme low point of her life and really depressed, he doesn't want to be there for her, and he finds her unattractive and gross and goes and cheats on her. You absolutely were not ready to have a family. If that's your mentality, you're still a child. The commenters on this post rightfully called him every name in the book, and so he provided an update to this story just a couple days later, and so I'm going to read that as well. I really didn't expect the last post to blow up so much and even reach TikTok. I'm going to post an update and then probably delete this account. As per somebody's advice, I took the day off work, dropped our 2 sons off at their grandparents' house, and sat my wife down. I came fully clean. I made no excuses. I told her that I didn't expect forgiveness and that she had every right to say or do whatever she wanted. She didn't respond for a while, but then very softly and very quietly told me that she wanted me out of the house the next day and that we were done. She didn't scream or cry or show any emotion. I asked her if she wanted to say anything else, and she said no. I told her that I was sorry, and she said she didn't want to hear it. We sat in silence for what felt like forever, while she stared blankly into space. When our sons came home, seeing how expertly she was able to put on a brave face and not let them know anything about what was wrong broke my heart. It hit me like a ton of bricks that she was used to doing this, and that it was all my fault. I slept in the guest room that night, but I didn't get much sleep. The next morning, our older son asked me why Mom was crying again last night, and said he wanted to cheer her up. My wife refuses to speak to me, look at me, or acknowledge me in any way. I heard her on the phone with her best friend who lives in another country. She told her that she thought she had found a good one and that she was going to break the mold. Her grandfather had walked out and left her grandma with nothing. Her dad had walked out and left her mom with nothing. I'm a piece of shit, just like every other man in her life. I left today and she didn't even look at me or say anything. She just continued watching TV and crocheting as if nothing was happening. I'm staying at my parents' house now and they're disgusted with me. My mom cried when I told her. They love my wife like their own daughter. I let everybody down and I deserve everything coming my way. This one was a really hard read. This guy's absolutely disgusting. I mean, I'm glad that he came clean. If this update could have been that he just kept the secret from his wife forever. And so I'm glad that that didn't happen. But I mean, he just has to live with the fact that he destroyed his family for the rest of his life. And I hope that his wife and kids can move on and live a good life without this guy in it. Man, I'm getting bummed out. I'm getting bummed out reading all these depressing Reddit stories. Next week, I'm going to find some more lighthearted ones. This week, we've got some heavy hitters. But let's see what we got next. I'm taking a break from building the farm to clear my head and collect some resources in the nether. We'll get back to building that in just like a little bit. All right, here's the next one. I fake a phone call every time I see a friend in public. I don't know why I do this. Every time I run into a friend or someone I know, I immediately pretend I'm on a phone call. I put my phone to my ear, nod, wave, maybe mouth, "I'll call you later," and just keep walking. It's not because I hate them. I actually like most of them. But the idea of stopping to chat or doing a whole "how you been" routine just drains me. I don't want to be rude, but I don't want to engage either, so I fake it. It's stupid and kind of sad, but it's my go-to escape plan. Listen, my man, everybody knows that you fake phone calls. You're not smarter than your friends. This poster seems like just so entitled and like an asshole. Like, I actually do like most of my friends. I doubt they like you. If you're pretending to make phone calls to avoid talking to them, you're unlikable and they're talking shit about you behind your back. And they're all wondering why you pretend to be on phone calls every time they see you. I really do understand, like, having social anxiety and not wanting to be pulled into a, lengthy conversation that you don't want to be a part of. I really do get that. That's a completely valid fear to have. But there's a polite way to go about this. And learning to just have a quick, 2-minute cordial conversation with your friends in passing is just a life skill that you should probably develop moving forward in life. Okay, I haven't read this one fully yet, but the title's already got me hooked, so let's see what it's about. My girlfriend of 4 years just told me that she's pregnant. I'm a woman, so it can't be mine, but she swears she didn't cheat. What do I do? Okay, so the poster is a 29-year-old female, and her girlfriend is a 27-year-old female. I'm still in shock, so bear with me. My life feels like a soap opera right now. Apologies, this will probably be long. Here's some background. My girlfriend Anna and I have been together for 4 years, with intentions of getting engaged sometime next year. To clarify, we are 2 women in a relationship. I'm a lesbian, always have been, but Anna is bisexual, and has had serious relationships with men in the past. This has never been an issue for us because we love each other and have a healthy, stable relationship. But now, as you can imagine, I'm second-guessing everything. Here's what went down. In the last month, Anna has been complaining about putting on some weight, particularly in her stomach area. Anna is thin and athletic, so the little belly she developed is noticeable. She has been going to the gym more, and she started eating much healthier than she usually does. We didn't notice any improvements with her weight loss, but I told her that it takes time and that she will eventually lose the weight. Pregnancy never crossed my mind, for obvious reasons. Last week, she really started freaking out about her weight gain, so she scheduled a doctor's appointment. She had the appointment yesterday afternoon, and afterwards she called me at work and told me that we needed to talk. I could tell she had been crying. I'm freaking out at this point now, thinking she's terminally ill or something. I started tearing up, asking her to tell me what's wrong, but she insists on meeting at home. I leave work immediately and get home to see her sitting on the couch, her face puffy from crying. I'm shaking and the tears are streaming down my face. I ask her about the doctor's appointment and what's going on. She can barely get the words out through her sobs. She tells me that she went to the doctor and they told her that she's 13 weeks pregnant. I stop crying, but my brain is trying to comprehend what she just told me. All I could say was, "What?" over and over again. She's still sobbing, saying she's so confused and has no idea how this happened. I've never really seen her in a state like that. She seems genuinely upset and confused, but then again, so am I. As I started registering what was going on, I asked, "Did you sleep with someone?" And she only starts crying more, swearing on her life that she didn't sleep with anyone. So I'm like, "But you did, you're pregnant. There's no way that you didn't cheat on me." To which she replies, "I have no clue how this happened, but I swear to God I did not sleep with anyone. You have to believe me." We go back and forth for 30 minutes or so, both of us still confused. I told her that I needed to think, so I called a friend and spent last night at his house. I've been talking with friends and everyone is confused, but agreeing that Anna must have cheated on me. I keep playing our conversations over in my head though. Like if she knew that she had slept with a guy that she could be pregnant, why would she go to the doctor? Why wouldn't she have just gotten an abortion secretly? She could have used a Plan B pill just in case. Like, she could have gotten away with this. Maybe I'm being foolish here, but it genuinely seemed like she had no idea why she was gaining weight in her stomach. A couple nights we talked at length about the possibilities of why she was gaining weight in that region, and pregnancy never crossed our minds. I'm also playing back the potential date that she could have cheated on me, considering she was 13 weeks along. We live together and have similar work schedules. We both work 9 to 5 jobs. And if I'm thinking of the right week that this could have happened, there's nothing that stands out of the ordinary to me. There weren't any late nights or suspicious activity that would have concerned me. I feel like I'm driving myself crazy. I feel like I can't trust her. She's been texting me asking if we can talk, and I told her that I needed more time. I want to believe that she's telling me the truth, but I can't think of any reason how she could be pregnant without having slept with some guy. But it's also confusing, given the situation. So Reddit, what are your thoughts? Does my girlfriend have a case of lesbian immaculate conception? Or am I just being a fool doubting that she cheated on me? How do I handle this situation? And how do I talk to her? Everything feels very confusing right now. Where I'm at right now in this story is, I think there's like no way that that this girl did not cheat on her girlfriend, right? There's just like no way that you get pregnant otherwise. That's it. There's no way that she just got pregnant without having cheated. But let's go ahead. There's an update from a couple days later after the initial post. So let's go ahead and read that before we talk about it. Just by the way, I should have mentioned this before. This post is from 2015, so it is a little bit old, but at least we know that AI didn't write it then. All right, here's the update. After spending the night at a friend's house and ignoring all of Anna's calls and texts, I decided to see her the next day and talk. We made a plan to meet at our house after work. I wasn't sure what to expect from our conversation. I thought I might get a confession of her cheating on me or something along those lines. So we met at home. She asked me how I was doing, and I told her I was still pretty confused and upset. She understood, and then I said, "I have to know, did you sleep with someone? Did you cheat on me? Or come near sperm in any way, shape, or form since we have been together?" She swore up and down that she did not, very sincerely. She said, "I know this is crazy and literally unbelievable, but I swear to God I didn't cheat on you. I am just as confused as you are." I still wasn't entirely convinced, so I asked her about her doctor visit specifically. She did not get an ultrasound. They only took a urine sample. I guess she told them her symptoms, they took a urine sample, and concluded she was pregnant, and then sent her on her way. I asked why they gave her a specific gestation period, and she didn't know. I'm not entirely sure why they did either. Of course, I was like, "Did you tell the doctor that it's impossible for you to get pregnant? That you've been with a woman for the last 4 years?" Apparently the doctor gave her grief for it, essentially implied that she must have slept with a man, because she's pregnant, and that's why she was experiencing her symptoms. I'm not sure if this is a common occurrence for a doctor, but she said he seemed completely unfazed by her claims of not having slept with a man. For those of you that mentioned her period, Anna has an irregular period. Sometimes she gets it, and sometimes she doesn't. So there's no cause for alarm when she didn't get her period for 3 months because A, she can't get pregnant, B, more sex for us. I guess the doctor saw the signs of a positive pregnancy test and a lack of a period, and pregnancy was the most reasonable option. After hearing that, I said that she should schedule another doctor's appointment with a different doctor as soon as possible. She told me that she had, and the appointment was the next day, which was yesterday. We decided that it was best that I go with her to that appointment. The first order of business with the new doctor was the ultrasound. I sat with Anna as they put gel in her stomach, and I was honestly sweating bullets. I kept thinking to myself, what if she is actually pregnant? I thought I was going to pass out, but Anna seemed calm. They confirmed that Anna is not actually pregnant, but she had a mass on her ovary that was cause for concern. It was one of the most emotionally confusing moments of my life. Anna and I looked at each other, not sure if we should celebrate the not pregnancy or cry or what. Anna still has more appointments, but the new doctor gave her the diagnosis of stage 1 ovarian cancer. Oh shit. This explains the positive pregnancy test and the bloated stomach. This also explains why she wasn't able to lose weight in her stomach. The doctor also mentioned irregular periods should have been a sign of concern for Anna, as women with irregular periods can be more at risk for ovarian cancer. I'm devastated but hopeful. Anna is still in shock as she's been through a lot in the last couple days. I'm supporting her the best that I can as we continue to figure out a game plan. Naturally, we are both terrified of what's to come. This will be a huge part of her life and mine, and probably put our plans to get engaged, married, have kids on hold. So I guess this is a happy, sad update. Thanks for everyone reading. I'm sure there are super smart medical people in the comments that can help explain to me, that can help explain to my dumb brain why a tumor is able to make a positive pregnancy test, and also how treatable stage 1 ovarian cancer is. That sounds crazy, but overall this sounds like good news in that, like, despite it being ovarian cancer, that sucks, but at least they caught it. That's great. And also, her girlfriend wasn't cheating. That's awesome. This is overall a happy ending, so that's great. This whole story was actually just like a wild ride. It reads like a daytime TV doctor drama. A little bit of a bittersweet story there, but I'm glad that it's not just all complete bummers today. Let's go ahead and read another one here. I built this holding chamber for the slimes to like collect their slime balls, but I don't think I like this area. I'm gonna tear this down and rebuild it, probably a little bit lower. Am I the asshole for locking the office fridge after someone kept stealing my lunch? Okay, the person writing this, the poster is a 34-year-old male. I work in a small office with about 10 people. We share a communal kitchen, including one fridge. Over the past month, my lunch has been stolen 5 times. Not just random snacks, entire homemade meals that I bring from home, gone without a trace. It's not just frustrating, it's expensive and messes up my day. I mentioned it a couple times in the group chat, like, hey, someone's been taking my lunches, please stop. Everyone either ignored it or sent vague messages like, ugh, that sucks, or some people are the worst. But no one took responsibility. So I bought a mini fridge and put it under my desk. Nothing fancy, just enough to hold my meal and a drink. I also put a little lock on it for extra peace of mind. Since then, no more stolen lunches. Well, last Friday, one of my coworkers, I'll call her Dana, she's a 29-year-old female, confronted me during lunch and said it was weird and selfish that I had a personal fridge. She said it made me look paranoid and not part of the team. I said I was tired of my food being stolen, and this was the only solution that worked. She said I should have just brought stuff that I wouldn't care about losing, like snacks or microwave meals, if I was so worried about it. A couple of others have made little comments like, don't let him see your lunch, he might lock it up, or, we get it, you're special. I'm starting to feel like the weirdo in the office for just protecting my stuff. Am I the asshole for locking up my lunch instead of letting this keep happening? This guy is absolutely not the asshole. I can't really relate to this because when I worked in an office, I was one of those people that would get in my car and go drive to get fast food and then eat my lunch alone in the parking garage, throw a YouTube video on. That's like 30 minutes of pure bliss. So I never kept anything in the fridge. But that being said, having your lunch stolen 5 times is crazy. And he's absolutely right to buy his own fridge, lock it up, whatever, just make sure that it's not getting stolen again. I think we found our our lunch thief in Dana. She's definitely the one that was stealing the lunch over and over again. I will say that buying the lock for your personal refrigerator is maybe a little over the top. Like, once you buy the personal refrigerator, I doubt anybody else is going to steal from the refrigerator underneath your desk. Locking it up is like, maybe a step that you didn't need to take, but I completely get it, and I don't think you're wrong to do it. And your coworkers are definitely going to not say anything else when their lunches start getting stolen as well. So, that's about it on that. Let's read the next one here. I had an absolute yard sale of a death off camera in between recording. So that's why my levels are much lower now, but I'm going to go ahead and keep building here. This next one's not exactly a story, but I thought it was kind of relevant to those people who may have just graduated from college recently or are close to doing so. College is ending in a few weeks, and I've never felt so lost or scared. I did my bachelor's in environmental science, and as much as I do love it, I don't know if I see myself working in that field. I struggled through university, and honestly, it's a shock that I made it this far. I'm truly not smart or motivated enough to be a scientist or a researcher. I compare myself to all my friends in the course that have their talents and activities. Many of them are pursuing science further and doing research degrees. I'm mentally drained from my degree. I couldn't be more excited to graduate, but simultaneously, I'm back to square one and I have no idea what my professional life is going to look like. I'm going through a phase in my life where I'm not interested or passionate about anything. I have no active hobbies, and I have no desire to learn anything new. I think it's a mild form of depression because it happens sometimes and I always snap back. But it sucks to feel so useless and drained of life. Anyone feel anything similar? I would say that this poster is absolutely depressed if they're talking about how not smart and motivated they are. You graduated with an environmental science degree from college. You're absolutely smart and talented. I was in a really similar place when I graduated from college. I had studied to become a high school teacher, and after doing my student teaching, decided that that was absolutely not for me. And so I was also really lost as well, feeling the same sort of feelings that this poster was. But I really didn't understand how great adulthood was going to be compared to college. Like, college was great, but I've really enjoyed the years since college. And adulthood has this way of forcing you to swim because otherwise you sink. You kind of got to figure it out yourself. And, so what if you don't do what your major was in college? You're going to find something that you enjoy doing, and you're going to be all right. Anyways, let me get off my soapbox here and read another Reddit story. Stay in my lane. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about this flooring. It's okay. We'll see. I might change this. I might. We'll see. All right. Let's end this with just a classic "Am I the asshole?" Okay, here it is. Am I the asshole for throwing a cup of cold water on my naked husband? My husband has been tested for ADHD, but he doesn't have it. He has the kinds of problems that are associated with ADHD, however. He says writing lists, making a schedule, setting alarms, etc. is physically painful for him, and he'd rather just deal with the occasional emergencies rather than being productive. The specific problem here: he often forgets to push the shower diverter valve down. You know, the little rod on the tub faucet that you push down to make the water fill the tub, and push up to make the water come out of the shower. For nearly 20 years, I have been asking him to push that down. Since I was literally a teenager, I have been asking him to push that fucking thing down. At least twice a month, I have a very unpleasant wake-up/cold shower, because I turn the water on, and I get a cold spray from the shower. And every fucking time, he's apologetic, and then a week or two later, it happens again. He's always telling me that he's working on it. And hasn't he been doing better on it lately? But somehow he's always working on it, always improving, but yet it never stops. Today I just had it. I stepped into the shower, turned it on, and had a very cold, rude awakening. I couldn't take it anymore. I grabbed a cup by the sink and filled it about 3 inches with cold water. I walked out to where he was standing naked. He had just taken off his pajamas and was going to take a shower after mine. Without warning, while he was looking down, I held the plastic cup firmly in my hand, and grasping it tightly, I jerked at a 45-degree angle to get cold water all over his torso and face. I told him that his apologies were worth the paper they were written on, and I was tired of listening to him congratulate himself for getting better when I had been asking him for 20 years to stop doing this shit. I told him I don't accept his apologies, and the fact that it's an accident does not excuse it. I told him that from now on, every time I'm taking a cold shower, so is he. That I refuse to be a second-class citizen in my own home any longer, and if he refuses to make changes to treat me better, I will instead make changes to treat him worse, because I will not tolerate this any longer. I'm going to continue to surprise throw a cup of cold water on him every time I get a surprise cold shower. I'm tired of asking, begging for basic respect and not getting it, with the implication that I have to put up with this forever. So Reddit, I know I'm probably the asshole, but am I a justified asshole? I mean, this one's just insane. I ended up cutting out like a lot more F-bombs than there actually were in that post. But this poster just seems like a nightmare to live with. Maybe it's just me, but like this really doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. Like, yes, it's maybe annoying that your husband for years has been forgetting to put the stopper down, but isn't it just as easy to like look at it and put it up if you know that that happens? This feels like one of those little things that maybe drives you a little bit crazy, but isn't a reason to lash out at your husband or significant other. I don't know. I guess I haven't been in a 20-year marriage, so these little things probably do drive you kind of crazy, but I just think this poster is absolutely not justified for her reaction or reacting the way that she did. I think you can be a lot more understanding for a small thing like this. The slime farm is officially functional. It's slow, but functional. It's definitely not the slime farm I'd recommend that you build in your world, but that's all the Reddit stories that I've got for today. I really appreciate you sticking around to the end and hanging out. And wait, hold on. Is that a subscribe button down there, right there below the video? That's crazy. That'd be crazy. That'd be just insane if you subscribed. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. All right. Bye.